I want to thank Tina Graves. She has worked diligently with me hand in hand to make sure that, number one, we get you down in here just to show our support, to show our love for you and what you have done and what you're going to do. Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there, Mayor, that may have a whole lot of questions. I am not going to give them that opportunity. I want them to hear from you this morning. So what I want to do first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, again, we have my friend, the mayor of the city of North Chicago, Illinois, Leon Rockingham, with us here this morning. He said he thought this was radio. Yeah, well, I'm sorry about that one. But I just want him to take time out. For those of you that may not know who he is, I'm sure there's not very many of you out there that do not, but still, we are being heard in over 154 countries. And we're averaging, I don't know, anywhere from 20 to 30,000 people on a weekly basis, which is a tremendous blessing. And we want you to take time out to simply just first and foremost introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from. Give us a little bit of history about your position as mayor over the past 4 years. And maybe people will begin to get a better understanding of who you are. Can you do that?
I will. First and foremost, Kevin, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it. You're right. We've been friends for many years. Many years. And as my pastor says, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's been, it's been a good career. First of all, I hope that you and your family are doing well.
Amen.
It's, always a blessing to be able to fellowship.
Amen.
And that's what
right.
I kind of look at it as just a fellowship.
That's it.
So just, real quick, just a little bit about me. Born and raised in North Chicago, and I guess I've been blessed 62 years now.
Wow.
Of being here. My career actually started as an alderman.
Okay.
I was an alderman for 12 years, so I had 3 elections as alderman. Seeing the community continue to change, my reason for getting into politics was, to try to make a change in the community,
right.
to continue to make the community grow.
Right.
After my 12 years as alderman, I actually came out of politics.
Oh, really?
I was done. I thought, I worked for AT&T. I was with AT&T for some 31 years.
Okay.
And that was my direction to complete, with AT&T. And but God has a different path for you.
That's right.
And
That's right.
And when I was out of politics, I seen the city going in what I felt a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I decided to get back in to run for mayor.
Okay.
I knew I was coming up on my retirement for AT&T, so I thought, if I ran and was blessed to be able to be successful in that, I was able to retire, and that's exactly what happened. So,
okay.
So I became mayor in 2005.
Wow.
This is my third. My 12th year, going into my 4th election.
Okay.
And through those 12 years, we've had a lot of successes, and there's been some trials,
some challenges. I can imagine.
But it's been good.
Yeah.
One thing, your challenges makes you stronger.
Absolutely.
And I think that, we as a city has shown that we are very resilient, and we can continue to move forward. And I think that's the direction we're going, is upward.
Right. So. Well, I know, for a fact, Mayor, I know that there has been a lot of things, a lot of challenges in the city of North Chicago specifically. And I know that people will try to create controversy no matter what you're doing, no matter how well of a job you may do, no matter who you are, and I know that there are a lot of people out there right now who may have a tremendous amount of questions, but I want you to, as this is going to be your 3rd term?
4th term.
4th term. Okay, 4th term. This is going to be your 4th term. And I guess the track record really must speak for itself, because if it were a situation that what you were not doing a tremendous job, you wouldn't be there. You know, the voters will speak. As you can tell, yesterday was a surprise to many people.
Well, I'm sure it was, and it was a surprise to everyone but Mr. Cunningham.
But Sam, right? That's right. And that's right.
So, and I really am, my hat goes out to him.
Amen.
I congratulate him
That's right.
on a fine campaign and election. You know, it's never easy.
That's right.
I know for myself, all of the 6 times that I have ran, there's always been an opponent. And, my thing is, every time you run, you better run like it's your first time.
That's right.
And Sam has shown that.
Yeah.
And I look forward to, if he is successful in the general election, I look forward to working with him. It'll be a very positive, working relationship between the city of North Chicago and Waukegan.
Right. Well, I'm sure. You guys too, Mayor, have been knowing each other for quite some time. And, it's always hats off to both of you, because you have that respect and that love for one another, no matter what the situation is. Now, in this particular term, based on the last 3 terms that you have been there, what's your plan to do something different this time around? I mean, is there a focus on maybe revising a certain situation or a certain division or anything of that nature? Is there a plan in the future for you to do things slightly differently in some areas?
Well, I think I put a lot of things in place over the last few years. And I'll just be honest with you, during the situation that we had back in 2011, 2012, that made me have to refocus. And make sure that we did have a more transparent community.
Right.
Not only just in our other departments, but also in our police department. And that's something that I felt that we have done and are still working on. And then naturally, economic development. That is something that it's been a struggle for our community, being that we are a minority community. It makes it more challenging, but I think we're right at the cusp now of getting some things in place that hopefully we'll start to see that change to develop and to bring those businesses into the city.
Absolutely. I know that there's been a lot of great things that has come out of the city of North Chicago, but one of the things that I would love to focus on is that Falls Park area. I remember back in the day we used to have like the Afro Fest, and oh man, there was so many great things. Is there any plans for the near future to get some more major activity going on down in that area?
Well, first off, Falls Park is a separate entity.
Oh, it is.
It's its own separate taxing body. So I don't have a lot of control on that issue. Just like the school district is its own taxing body.
Right.
But I know that the president of Falls Park right now, Vance Wyatt, has a lot of initiatives that are planned for the Falls Park and the lakefront. So I know they have been working very hard to try to revitalize the beach and bring that back online, and the park itself down at Falls Park on the lake. He has said that there's a lot of initiatives that he is going after as far as grant dollars to reestablish the park, and I think that with his direction and vision, I think Falls Park and the board itself has a great opportunity to move the Falls Park district forward. The lakefront is one, the youth center, and then also the golf course itself. To make sure it all generates enough revenue to give the residents of North Chicago and the youth of North Chicago the opportunity to have different programs that they can initiate.
Yeah, and I know that giving our youth some programs within those entities, Falls Park and the Youth Center. Well, we used to call it the Youth Center back in the day. Yes. I'm telling on myself.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. I understood it too.
I know that I didn't, but you know what, Mayor, I didn't really know. I thought things that were in the city of North Chicago were part of that. But you know what? Can you do this for me? Can you break down, in a general sense, what the responsibilities, the true responsibilities of a mayor of a city is on a general level?
Well, as a mayor, you know, we work with many other taxing agencies.
Okay.
For city of North Chicago, besides for the park district and the school board, we do have to also work for the townships. And in
Okay.
North Chicago, we have two of them: Waukegan Township and Shields Township.
Okay.
So our dividing line is 18th Street. So those issues that go on the north side of 18th Street comes out of Waukegan Township, and to the south we deal with Shields Township. So those are issues that we continue to work with. We have to work with the county.
Okay.
The county board, is another agency that we're
Have to work hand in hand.
Work hand in hand.
Okay.
And then you go on, down to the state and federal level also.
Right.
But as a mayor, our responsibilities come first and foremost is public safety.
Okay.
Our police and our fire. We got to make sure that we are manned properly on both of those to service our community.
Right.
And to make sure that our streets are safe for our residents and guests that come in to our town.
Right. Okay.
Then public our public service, our in regards to public works,
Right.
to make sure
Right.
our streets are drivable and garbage is picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Then also our budget, and we got to make sure our budget continues to be balanced. And
Okay.
we have a water plant in the city of North Chicago. We supply all the water for North Chicago and also to some of the county. We also supply water to
Wow.
Abbott and Advie, who is out in the
Right,
county.
right,
So,
right.
Those things that we've got to make sure we've got good and safe drinking water for all those. And as we continue to work on the water plant, we want to be able to sell water further out. There's agencies, especially out west, like our Fox Lake and
Okay.
some of the other outlying agents, communities. We want to be able to, if possible, supply water to them.
Absolutely.
We have the capacity in our water plant to do that. We continue to do negotiations with them. And then North Chicago, some people don't realize, but Naval Station Great Lakes.
Yes.
It
yes,
is in North Chicago.
City of
It is
North
in our
Chicago.
boundaries.
Right,
So
right.
we are responsible for that. So that's
Okay.
another agency that we continue to deal with. So we are dealing with that actually at the federal level, because
Okay.
Naval Station Great Lakes, all of their command comes out of the Pentagon.
Okay.
So
okay.
we deal with them
Wow.
at a federal level at that
That's
respect.
a pretty powerful situation there when you look at it.
And if you really realize it, being that it's Naval Station Great Lakes,
Mm-hmm.
the only recruit training center in the United States
Wow.
is here in the city of North Chicago. So
Right,
anyone
right.
that pretty much joins the Navy comes through the city
Comes
of North
through
to
the
North
city
Chicago.
of North Chicago, right.
And so we are responsible to make sure that anytime they come out of those gates, they are on our property, and we have to make sure that they're safe also.
Absolutely. I thought about that, but I didn't think about that because I look at things, Mayor, like the VA hospital. Very that's really a huge entity here in the North Chicago area,
Which is a James A. Lovell Healthcare Center.
Right.
You're old
Right,
school
right,
again.
right,
That's VA.
Oh, that's right, my bad. You know what? I said we're just gonna sit here. We're gonna chat for a little
all
bit. We're
right.
gonna have some fun. But it is what it is. I've been around here for a long time. I've watched a lot of things take place. I've watched a lot of things happen. One thing that I always have to take my hat off to you about is you are always ready, willing, and able to get out into the community. You're not one of those stand behind or sit behind the desk type of individuals that are never trying to get out into the community to find out what's going on. One of the challenges that I have seen you face that you handled, I mean, like, like a true professional, was when the bad vibes and the negativity came out about the North Chicago Police Department. You know, people always have their opinions. One thing about opinions, everybody has one.
Yes.
You know, but when it all came out, and a lot of things
me,
took
I apologize.
and a lot of things took place, it was amazing how you were able to maintain your level of integrity through it all. And I have to take my hat off to you about that, because that situation could have possibly went a whole different direction. And, you know, what's your take on that? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Let me get my breath first. You know, I would say that not only during my administration, but also during my life, that was one of the toughest times that I ever had to deal with. You know, and exactly what you just said. My God, let me, and I'm going to say it to everyone here that I'm speaking to. That was, you know, that was during the Darian Hannah incident, where our police officers had to go in and subdue him. It was a domestic incident. Unfortunately, Darian lost his life, and it brought focus to North Chicago. Right. You know, it's very tough when, you know, I sit at my desk at work, and which looks out over our North Chicago football field and Lewis Avenue right there, and as I get ready to go to City Council, you know, you see the news agencies, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, CNN, you know, all come in and bring their towers up, and you know, I had to pray.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
I will say God got me through it.
My God.
But my thing was I had to stay strong and let the process work. Yeah. And one of the things that I tried to express to everyone, that, you know, if there was if any of my officers was charged with anything illegal, that I would prosecute them to the fullest. Right. And I think I held to that word. But see, people don't realize during that time that I was going through it, my wife of 36 years was actually going through her bout with cancer. I lost my wife on December 19th in 2011 during the height of the Darian Hannah incident. You know, and I've given this testimony on many times that, you know, I had no peace at City Hall, and at the time I had no peace at home. At home, and the only one I could go to was my Lord. That's it. And He got me through it. Yeah. You know, I continue to work with the Hannah family to try to make sure that, you know, they had the respect that they deserved to find out, you know, the incident and what came about. I think we put a lot of things in place because of that, because of that incident. You know, we created citizens advisory boards to make sure that if any incident that our police department had, they could go, you know, not only to our police department, but to that board and report it. And through that board, which is made up of citizens of North Chicago, independent people, to go to them and say, you know, we've had this incident, and they could do a follow-up and direction to make sure that our police department was being adhered to. You know, we went out to the NAACP. We went out to many different agencies just to make sure, you know, that we went and talked with the Department of Justice. We brought them in to work with us. And I think it's made not only our police department a better police department, but I think the city of North Chicago has come through it in a better light. So, you know, So I just say that it was a very hard time at that particular moment, but I think it's built a better relationship. I've worked with Gloria Carr on the issues that were out there. I worked with Ralph Peterson, and I will say they gave not only as the city gave respect, but they gave respect back to the city.
Absolutely.
And I really do appreciate all that they did.
Absolutely.
To make sure that this situation was resolved with respect. I give all credit to Ms. Carr because she said something that she always said: if you ride with me, you ride right.
Right.
And it did not cause violence in our community.
My God.
And bring riots to North Chicago.
Right.
So
Right.
but that's what you have to do in a community. You don't want to tear down your community. You want to build it up. And I think that's what they did from their side to make sure that we continue to make North Chicago a better place. So it was a tough time, but
I can imagine.
we got through it.
Yeah,
we got through it.
The challenges are inevitable when you're in a situation like you have been in for the past few years. You're going to face some challenges. But again, you have shown a lot of professionalism, a lot of integrity, a lot of strength in God. I remember calling you at one time, and you were like, let's just pray.
Yeah.
We just prayed. And, that was just, that to me, that was one of the best times of my life because it's not every day. I had that experience one other time. I had contacted Mike Neerheim down at the state's attorney's office, and he was my friend before he was the state's attorney. And now he knows me as a pastor, and I called him during the election time. And I was inviting him in and, things like that. And he said, Kevin, just pray. And we just prayed. We laughed, we talked. And I recall that same incident happening with you.
Yeah.
I connected with you. I believe we were in Zion. I connected with you. And we just prayed, and you got through it.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Well, what do they say? Much prayer, much power.
Woo, a lot of power. My lovely, beautiful, and talented wife, First Lady Tanika, she's on the network also, and she wants me to be sure to tell you, good morning, Mr. Mayor.
We'll tell her.
Yes,
good morning. I'm glad to hear you.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, is what she said. And I tell you what, it's not every day. I remember when my wife and I got married, and we went out to the resort down there in Waukegan, and you showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Your family showed up. That was just it was such a wonderful, wonderful time. So, just to give the people a history, we are friends. We were friends before anything, and that's just a wonderful thing. Well, the election is coming up.
Yes.
I believe it's
but before you get into that though, like I say, being the fact that you are born and raised in North Chicago, and you do want to get out to the community.
Right.
I love our community. I love to be able to represent the city of North Chicago.
Right.
I try to be, and I hope I continue to be as humble as possible. But you still want to live and make sure that as they see you in the community, they see you with again with that respect.
Right.
So, but I love being out there.
And it shows. You know what, Mayor? It really does show, and you don't hold back. I mean, if someone invites you and you're able to be there, you're going to be there.
I'm sure.
I've seen you out there on a number. Surprisingly, the average mayor who, may be in that position may not come to a lot of things that I have been able to witness you at. And you do it openly. You don't mind communicating with the people. Well, I think that's how you really find out, what's really going on in your community.
Yeah.
And like you said a few moments ago, people learn to appreciate that. Someone who's just not going to sit back and just settle for whatever. So in order to not settle, you have to be out there and you have to be in the face of the community.
And the best part sometimes is that when you go to some of the events, you get a little bit better understanding if they don't know you're the mayor.
Right.
Than if they do know you're the mayor.
I guess I can understand that too.
So So I do. I mean, I do represent, but it's well, it's kind of like your faith walk.
Yeah.
How people see you. They know that you're a Christian by your walk.
That's
so
right. That's right.
so that's kind of also the guide that I go by.
Yeah. Well, you always keep God first.
Yes.
I am a witness to that, and I believe some of the trying times that you have had has strengthened you even more to make you not just a better mayor, but a better man, a better person.
I thank you for that.
And that's just honesty. Sometimes you just simply have to tell the truth and let people know where they stand.
Exactly. Sure.
And what people are sitting on the outside looking at is a man of integrity, an honest individual, one who doesn't mind stepping up and doing what's necessary to allow his life and the city of North Chicago to move forward. So that's awesome. That is awesome.
Appreciate it.
So again, I want to talk just a little bit about the upcoming election, and how people can reach out to you and show their support at that level. I know it's April 4th.
April 4th.
April 4th is the election.
Mm-hmm.
And school board at the same time, correct?
No. School board is through the state. So the state has the school board, and they do their own appointments there under the board. Matter of fact, just yesterday, we had a meet and greet with the new superintendent, John Price.
Really?
That is going to be taking Dr. Martindale's spot.
Right.
So at District 187, they had a meet and greet so that people can come in and just kind of, get a face to a name. And
yes.
gentleman, Mr. Price, I think will do an excellent job. I had an opportunity to sit in during the final interviews of that process, and his resume and his passion for the school, I think, is going to bring about a good change in District 187.
Yeah, I had a young man here about a week or two ago, and he broke that thing down about how 187 came about.
Oh yeah,
with the three different districts and
123 and District 64
and then they combined the numbers and got 180. I'm like, wow, and that's just stuff that I just didn't know. And my goodness, what, he would kill me if he I think it's Whitaker. Oh my goodness, I can't remember who it was, but he was here. Him and David Weatherspoon are working on some things for the College of Lake County.
Oh, sure.
And I had him here as a guest, and man, he broke that thing down. I was shocked. He was a teacher out in the city of North Chicago for a long time.
Okay.
So April 4th.
April
4th, general election. That's it. That's all. They have an opportunity. Now, is there an early voting process for that?
Early voting actually starts on the 20th of March.
Okay.
And you can start early voting at that point, and then the election itself is April 4th.
Okay,
so.
April 4th. Now we're gonna what we call re-elect, Leon Rockingham for the mayor of the city of North Chicago, and based on what I understand, you're the only one on the ballot.
Yes.
So they can see your name. Just mark your name and say, "Hey, we support Mayor Rockingham." That's it. Let's move on.
Keep on going.
Man, that's good stuff right there, boy. And I didn't know that, but hey, you know what? Now this is for the North Chicago community. Your voice counts, and the most important thing that I really want to stress over the next few weeks is the fact that we do have this opportunity to get out and vote. One of the things that I did the other day, my wife was laughing at me. She said she came home from work. She went and did what she had to do, and she said, "Get up." I'm like, "Why?" She said, "Go vote.
Go vote.
Regardless to who you're voting for, get out and vote." And that's the important thing. I talked to Rita Mayfield on yesterday live on the air. Her main thing was we had a great push to inform people to get out and vote.
Yes.
And that's going to be the key. I believe in my spirit that that's what we need to do come April 4th. What I'm going to do, whether there was anybody else on the ballot or not, I'm going to show my support because we have a lot of individuals out of the North Chicago area that shows this network support. Joshua Randolph has come down on a number of occasions to share a word, to show his support to us, and he has a great following what he's doing out there. in
Yes,
that
he has.
area. And
He's been very good. He's continued to work with the city in regards to that. We started a program with Pastor Randolph.
Okay.
In regards to, it's called Ask 12.
really,
Yes.
I saw that. Is that in?
It
I
might.
saw that, and I wanted to ask you what. Yeah, Ask 12: Safety, Respect, Understanding, and Trust. Promoted between community and police. Ask 12. Tell me a little bit about that.
Ask 12 is something that actually Audrey Nixon came to my office and says, Mayor, how do we engage our youth with the police department? And how do we be able to get our youth to be more respectful, and the police to be able to be more transparent to our youth?
Right.
And so myself and Ms. Nixon, County Board Commissioner Nixon.
Right.
So we got together, and my police chief and Pastor Randolph and some others got together, and we started talking about, what can we do to engage our youth? And we said, well, as if we do it, the youth won't respect it.
Right.
We got to get the youth and find out what they want to see with our police department.
Okay.
So we brought in our youth from mostly the high school, sophomore, juniors, and seniors.
Okay.
And and I'll tell you a quick story. Okay. So we brought them into our city council chambers.
Okay.
And we had a room for the youth, and we started talking to them. How do we get engage them? And one of my police officers in uniform came up and started talking to them, and you could see that they just got turned off. Because he got up and spoke. So he kind of said a few words, and he went to the back of the room.
Okay.
And as the youth were talking, and engaging with us, I seen him take off his uniform. He took off his shirt, took off his gun belt, and he had the Nike T-shirt on underneath it. So then, as they were talking, he moves to the side of the room and started engaging in them again. And we're talking about having a volleyball contest and different things. And he said, why don't we have a talent show? And they said, yeah, we could have a talent show. And he said, well, we could have the police be the MC. Yeah, we could. And then they realized that the same person that was being he was turned off with because he had the uniform on, now had the Nike shirt on. And I mean, the officer is only not 26, 27, so he's a young man.
Right.
They realized that was the same person they were just talking with, and that's what we got to be able to engage, where the youth don't look at the uniform, but look at the person.
Right. Wow.
So we had the talent show. We've had what we call a day of play with the police officers and the youth at the high school. Engaging anything from junior high on into high school. We had 3-on-3 basketball. We had some blow-up bouncies. We had the Nintendo games, and had the big screen TVs where the police officers would challenge the youth.
Right.
Police officers didn't do so well on that, but
I can imagine.
But we are continually meeting with them to try to see what else they do.
They can do right.
But our youth in North Chicago are very talented, and they are very engaged.
Right.
And sometimes we just don't give them the respect that they deserve because they are out there, and our police department has continued to work with them. We've got Officer Tolliver, who actually goes to 1 Corinthians. Who is over that program, and our chief Wilson, and our new deputy chief Lazaro Perez. We're working with the youth. They want to do a food drive for the homeless.
Really?
So and working with our police department.
Youth oriented.
Wow. And see, that's what this Ask 12 is all about.
Wow.
How do we get the youth of North Chicago more engaged with our police department?
Right.
And then we want to expand it not just with our youth, but throughout Lake County.
Exactly.
To let them know.
Well, that kind of thing would be contagious.
And I think it is. It
would be contagious.
We had a 3-on-3 basketball contest during halftime of one of our basketball games. I will say our police department beat them in the three. Well, it wasn't three. It was a 3-point shootout.
Oh, okay.
3-point shootout.
Wow,
So
okay.
yeah. So
that's but that's good stuff, Mayor. I mean, I was going to ask that question, and you kind of went into that. I was going to ask you what were some of the things that you were able to see take place in the city of North Chicago that you ultimately ended up being fairly proud of. Some of the accomplishments and some of the things. And I know for a fact, based on the type of person and the individual you are, to see the youth, smile, play, be happy, participate, especially with the police officers in the city of North Chicago.
There's a lot of programs that we've done in the city that we try to engage with our youth in.
Okay.
Even at the level for a reading program.
Okay.
We have, through the city of North Chicago, through our Detective Rollins, a reading program that we go into our schools and help children, with their reading.
Okay.
And what I've done is to allow any employee of North Chicago to at least take an hour off of work that is covered, to go into our schools and read.
Wow.
So once a week, and I want to say there's probably about I'm not exactly sure, maybe 15 or so
Really?
employees that would take advantage of that. So
and see, that's some stuff people don't know.
Exactly.
People just don't know about those intimate details about some of the things that's taking place in the city of North Chicago, and that's something that should be contagious also.
Another program that we've put together, and it's a Lake County program, is called Teen Court.
Teen Court.
Teen Court. So youth that may have got caught up into the legal side system, and they haven't done anything really detrimental, but first time
involved and stuff, right?
They, through this Teen Court, which is a Lake County program, we've got youth from North Chicago that are now involved in it.
Really?
And they're high school, but that person that got tied up in the legal, they go in front of their own peers.
Wow.
They go,
really?
And there's a judge that come in, and a Lake County judge. But the prosecutor, and the defendant, and actual ones that hear it are all teens. So and if they do what the courts suggest, sometimes they have to write an essay. Sometimes they have to go back and do an apology back into the school system.
Wow.
And if they meet all the criteria, they get that record expunged. And so there's a lot of programs that are out there, and what it makes it nice is that North Chicago is involved with it. The youth of North Chicago.
Yeah.
So
so that is
just
amazing.
some of the programs that are happening in our community.
That is truly amazing. One of the things that I do want to mention before we let you go, Mayor, is I know that the city council meetings are very instrumental in the city of North Chicago. I'm going to put my bid in after this election process. I would like to work a way to stream live those city council meetings. And the reason being, technology has taken over. And a lot of people, either they choose to or they are unable to make it to some of these meetings, but they want to know what's going on. They want to participate, actively participate. They want to share their views, their comments. Maybe they have some recommendations and or suggestions. I had the same conversation with Sam and Wayne and said, I don't know who's going to be the next mayor, but whomever it is, I want to make sure that this broadcast network, being a part of this community, be very instrumental in getting that information out there into the eyes and ears of the people.
Would love to.
And I'm going to have to
Yes.
come out.
Yes.
I think that was one of the reasons I did call your secretary and set up an appointment to come out and see you.
Okay.
So we'll be able to talk more in detail about that. But of course, we have to get past this particular process, which we are going to prepare ourselves to get out and vote on April 4th.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a few more things that you may not mind sharing with our viewers before we let you go. And if there's anything on your heart that you would like to share with them, please
Well,
do.
a couple of things that I do want to mention, and first one is that the North Chicago Police Department is recruiting.
Okay.
They're looking not only the police department but the fire department.
Okay.
They're recruiting applicants for the police department and fire department for an EMS.
Okay.
Anyone that is interested, please go to our website. It is up on our website.
Okay. What is that?
www.northchicago.org.
Okay. Northchicago.org.
So
Okay.
if they go up there, they can find a link to to be able to apply. One thing that first and foremost, we want to make sure that we have qualified and skilled people,
Right. Right.
that are employed with the city of North Chicago.
Right.
And that doesn't matter, no matter what department that is.
Okay.
We want to make sure that we get the best of the best that we can get.
Right.
And that police and fire department is the same way. We
Okay.
want to make sure that we do.
Okay.
But then we also want to make sure that we try to get applicants that look like North Chicago.
Okay. Okay.
That
makes sense.
So no matter where they come from.
Right.
But we want to make
Right.
sure that we've got the makeup of our police and fire like the makeup of the city of North Chicago.
Okay.
So just leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyone that is interested, please come out and sign up.
Please.
And then
Okay.
the last thing is always our community day.
Yeah. Community Days is always
So
a high time. It's
yes,
a highlight.
yes.
Now, I mean, when is that going to be this year?
That'll be August 5th and 6th.
Okay. August 5th and 6th.
The first weekend in August
Okay.
is always our community day. We streamlined it a little bit. We're going to take away Friday, just financials.
Okay.
But we're still bringing that forward. We're still going to be having our parade. We have events going on all day.
All day. Yeah.
We have our main entertainment that evening. We have our fireworks on Saturday night.
Okay.
And then gospel on Sunday.
Right.
So
5th and 6th, August 5th and 6th. Over there, right next to the
North Chicago.
The
North
youth
Chicago.
Center. No, he didn't go there. He went to the youth center, ladies and gentlemen.
Back to the youth center.
You know what? The youth center, boy, bring back memories when we even say that name. But definitely want to put my bid in to do everything that I can to be a part of what the city of North Chicago has going on.
Yes.
I'm always in there somewhere. But this year I'm going to try and step it up to the next level because, you know what, our children are watching.
Yes.
And when they see us constantly get out and do good things, positive things to encourage other children, other youth, other individuals, they tend to follow suit. My pastor has been teaching me the leadership role as a pastor beyond belief. And I can see it in my son. He gets up. I mean, he's at the church more than I am.
That's a blessing.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's at the church. So, first and foremost, for those individuals who are interested in possibly being a police officer or part of the fire department in the city of North Chicago, northchicago.org, www.northchicago.org. Don't hesitate to go to the website and find out what it is and what the process may be in order to get you involved in that. And, of course, we cannot and will not forget to mention the community days out in the city. North Chicago Community Days, August 5th and 6th. I believe I got that information before a lot of you. Nah. All right. So with that being said, Mayor, of course, April 4th, major day, vote, vote, vote. Vote, vote, and keep on voting. Tell your family members and friends in the city of North Chicago and that community to go out and make sure you make your vote count. And, of course, Mayor Leon Rockingham has done an outstanding job, and we honor that. We appreciate him for doing what he does. We, here at the GMAP Broadcast Network, we're going to re-air this broadcast at least 2 or 3 times a week. We're going to mention the importance of getting out to vote for the general election on April 4th, at least 2 or 3 times a day. We're going to make sure that if you do nothing else, you are informed about casting your vote on April 4th for the city of North Chicago. The mayor, Leon Rockingham, we want to put him back in that position. And when you're the only one there, what we need to know how many people is honestly willing to stand behind you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Support you, be a part of the growth process and not wait until the city has come up to a whole nother level, a whole nother dimension. Then you say, well, I was there.
Yeah.
I helped you. No, don't try to come out of the woodworks now if you're not willing to go through the process with us. So we're going to make sure that we continue to get that information out there, Mayor. And I will be, after the election process, I'll be setting up something to come out and sit down and talk to you and find out what it is that we can do in order to make sure that we involve the community with the city council meeting.
Well, Kevin, I thank you. I thank you for the opportunity to just be on your show.
Absolutely.
And be able to just give a little bit to the public on things that are going on in the city of North Chicago. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, it is my pleasure. And I tell you what, I learned a lot today. I didn't know a lot of those programs existed, and I'm going to ask Tina to see if she can, send me some of that information. I'd like to share that information because maybe there's some other individuals out there in the city of North Chicago that may want to get involved.
Exactly.
Especially parents. Listen, don't let your teens do it all alone. They need your support also.
That's
and
right.
If there's anything that we can do as parents, we need to step up to the plate because we are not getting any younger. Listen, I'm going to get back to more continuous music. I know I played it already, but I'm going to play it again because I know Tina is listening. She's listening and she's watching. Tina, thank you so much for making sure that this conversation takes place, and we appreciate and we love you. We're going to get back to more music right here on the GMAP Broadcast Network, GMAP1.com. In the meantime, one nice, let me go find my studio audience here real quick, Mayor, because I want them to at least show you just a little bit of love and gratitude for stopping by on today. So we're going to just take time out to give you a nice big round of applause. Is that all right? We're going to give it to him. Give it to him right now. Come on. God bless each and every one of you. We're going to get back to more music right here on the GMAP Broadcast Network.
When you're down and out and in despair. your closest friend. My Jesus cares. Can you help me say he'll be your closest friend? My Jesus cares. Oh, through it all, he'll be your closest friend. My Jesus cares. Through it all, he'll give a peace with it. My Jesus cares. Through it all, I wanna let you know that my Jesus cares.
La da 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 da. Give me all of you. I give you all of me. You give me all of you. I give me only to you. All of you, I give you all of me. You give me all of you. I give me only to you. There was a time in my life when I strayed away from you. Find out the truth, that it was you who was always there. I can't express how I feel right now, 'cause you made me feel brand new. Your endless love never fails, and it draws me close. All I give you all of me. You give me all of you. I give me only to you. Oh my Lord,
I give you praise.
with all my heart,
With all my heart,
with all my soul,
with all my soul, I give you praise.
yes sir.
I give you praise.
Oh holy Lamb,
Holy Lamb,
precious Lamb,
precious Lamb,
so much I owe
so much I owe
to you, O Lord.
you, oh Lord.
You sacrificed your life for me.
Life for me,
Give you praise. I give you praise. I will rejoice and I will sing. Holy, oh precious King. In you there's joy. In you there's peace. Almighty Savior. Come on, my soul loves thee. Come on, oh holy Lamb. Oh precious Lamb. So much I owe.